Let's see here. All right.
You ready? Yeah, we're recording.
You ready?
We're
All right.
we're
This is what we need to do, the technical difficulty screen right about now.
come back in the background's all
You're all disheveled and everything's like,
wiping blood off my nose.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
So here we go.
All right. Well, welcome back to the regular dad. And tell you what, if you like what we're doing here, I don't mean just the last few seconds, but overall, so don't judge us on the last few seconds, please. But if you like what we're doing here, then please like and share this with your friends. Now, Jimmy, for people that don't like...
That's my name.
We'll get to the new call sign in a minute, but you'll have to tell us that story.
Yeah, I
But
do.
for people that don't like what we're doing here, then this is what we would encourage you to do. Also, please like and share with your friends, and then comment as to why they should avoid watching us. That'll be very helpful.
Yeah.
That'll be very helpful.
Any algorithm help at this point is appreciated. Beggars can't be choosers, so
Yeah,
haters
absolutely.
are welcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
tell us what you don't like about
Tell us everything you hate about us.
and it will stir our souls deeply.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, Mom. I'm thinking bad things in my head right now. So, all right. So we're gonna start with a social media profile, like spotlight. That's something
Okay.
we're gonna start doing.
Okay.
This is a new hat for me, but this is from Just a Jackson Thing. You can find him at Just a Jackson Thing on Facebook, Instagram, and
Okay.
TikTok all. But Jackson Farmer is an 8, maybe perhaps 9-year-old kid now, and he, from Indiana, he is a walking encyclopedia of tractors and farming equipment and terminology and stuff. Predominantly John Deere.
How old is he again?
8 or 9, right? And they had him at
Unreal.
some trade show. They don't have.
Wait, they had him at a tractor trade show.
Yeah, so he went to visit.
Yeah.
But he goes up to like the case booth, and he starts asking the guys about motors and torque rates and different things, and it doesn't take very long before they have to holler at one of the other guys.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
They have to bring an engineer
yeah,
up because I'm just sales. I need to
Yeah.
talk to engineering.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, it's the same motor, but different platform and all, and he lost the sales dudes, kind of quick.
That's amazing.
But the great thing about him is like I said, he's 9 years old, but he's going on 60, right? So he talks as though he's been a farmer. Well, I guess he has his entire life, but as
Right.
his life has spanned some actual years, which he's just getting started. But his favorite tractor that he talks about on one of the episodes where he's getting interviewed by an online reporter, I think it is, maybe a local news reporter. He says, well, this tractor here, he said, I bought this, and he bought the tractor for $25 from his uncle. Okay. And I don't know that it was running or whatnot. And I don't think,
is it that tractor that's on your head? Is it like a full size, like
No. So this is a small, but it's still
like a little Ford or something?
It's a little John Deere, and he
Okay.
hollers the model number, and he knows
Okay.
this, but
Yeah.
he bought it from his uncle, and I don't know that he necessarily understands that the price that he got it for, the $25, is like stupid good,
Right.
right? Because I would buy the tractor just to have the tractor for $25.
Make it a lawn ornament for
Yeah,
$25.
Man, that's cool right there,
Yeah.
So, but anyway, he tells the reporter, he said, yep, I like to say that's the best $25 I ever spent. Like, who says that other than 60-year-old men and, well, me.
Right.
But sometimes you, I guess. So, I don't know. If you have something like that. I have a few things. That's the best money I ever spent.
Yeah. No, I say that. I say my other line is you get what you pay for. That's what the family says.
Yeah.
Which is totally kind of the opposite of that. But anyways.
But it's good, wholesome stuff. It's entertaining. It's refreshing to see a kid that is just into working and nature and being outside and just has all that. So he's just really unique. Someday, if we ever get big enough, I would love to interview him. Just a phone interview. Have him call in. Because the kid is just, it's amazing. I love watching him.
So question.
Yeah.
Is he So he's grown up on the farm.
Yep.
So is this a multi-generational farm?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're just steeped in it. And his mom, I think his cousin got him introduced into the social media world, and then mom kind of manages for that because you gotta be protective.
Yeah.
A bunch of weirdos out there. But
I was gonna say it's like my 9-year-old's not online.
No. And he's not on his own. Everything's done on his behalf, and he's.
I mean, every parent needs to
parentally
make that
protected
decision
and
for
everything.
themselves.
Yeah. I don't just. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah. No. All right. So, but anyway, so check that out. Anyway, and book recommendation.
Ooh, I have one. But go ahead with yours.
No, please go, because I can attach this one to another.
The Anxious Generation.
Okay.
By Jonathan Haidt.
Okay. Yeah. Is that on my list?
I think it might be. No, because I think this came after we did our episode.
I don't know.
But I might have talked to you about it already.
Nope, that's restaurants. I'm taking my wife to for dinner.
I may have talked about this. I know I made a Facebook post about it, but
Yep, I've got it. I haven't got to it yet.
So Jonathan Haidt and Greg Lukianoff wrote a book called The Coddling of the American Mind.
Okay.
They found a lot of data.
Yeah. And
they decided that rather than writing a follow-on book, they wrote 2 books.
Yeah.
Of addressing separate things that they discovered. Mm-hmm. This is Jonathan Haidt's book, and it's basically talking about the transition from what he calls the play-based childhood to the phone-based childhood.
Huh.
Yeah, it's
man, because there's a lot.
Let's just say this. I've had an instinct about technology for a long time, and I credit the Holy Spirit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Not to get all woo
fancy hand.
I have
Holy Spirit.
My wife and I have stumbled into a lot of the things that he says are.
I was not mocking.
It's
Mom.
fine. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
We don't mock. We just laugh with.
Because
he was. It's fine.
He took it to a holy plane.
Yeah.
So please, Mom, don't email.
So I listen to it, read it, but it's I won't say scary.
Yeah.
It's sobering stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Stats out there around kids and technology, especially phones and screens in general.
It's becoming. These guys have said this in the other book that Lukianoff wrote, but I like the line. The release of the iPhone in 2007 is akin to the creation of the printing press. The way it shifted our society.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the data is showing that. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyways.
Yeah, so
the iPhone's not bad, just like the printing press isn't bad.
No. It's a very valuable
Although I hate Apple. But anyways.
We need that screen to come up again. Mother. Sorry, Mom. So yeah, no, and actually I was just going to, because of the social media profile spotlight, I was just going to kind of kick around different ways that we raise our kids, not overlapping on the topic that we talked about outside with DIY stuff. But just, we've made no secret of the fact that, and I think our first episode is we talked about adoption. My kids are adopted. All right. But one of the first things we did, because they were 3 and 5, when they moved in, and we became a family, instantly it was outside. Instantly it was playing. Mm-hmm. TV was reserved for movies, like on the weekends,
like special
family time, just to kind of detox. There was a sugar detox and a healthy food thing, because
so they came into your family like immersed in screens, basically.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So they were, not well nourished, and I don't like they. They just hair all nasty, and they had like sunken eye, they just weren't healthy.
Wow.
And
I didn't know you guys back then.
Yeah, no. Yeah. But we asked them. This is on our way home. We're in the car. Because we're still getting to know them. We had spent we had spent one weekend with them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're gonna be a family now, right? And then
wow.
Yeah, and then the next not quite week later, 5 days later, we went and picked them up and back in the same town.
I had no idea.
And then
it was one. You had 1 week.
1 weekend.
1 weekend.
1 weekend.
Wow, Ben.
Yeah.
That's a transition.
It was, man. So, but so everything is getting to know each other, because we got a lot of ground to cover and make up for. So, hey kids, because we're going to have to make a lunch stop on the way home. We left early in the morning to get down to where we had to go and then come back. But we had to make a lunch stop, which, was going to be McDonald's because that's what you do. And there was no Chick-fil-A in the town that we were stopping in because Chick-fil-A is our go-to. All hail the Cathy family. Oh
dear.
But kids, what's your favorite food? Because and they're like, and Banks yelled sugar, and Everly yelled Barbies. Now she meant the Barbies gummy snacks, but she's 3, Yeah. But it was, hey, what's y'all's favorite food? Barbies, sugar. I'm like, oh crap. So there was a lot of undoing of that, and
wow.
And now, like, we still don't get those snacks. No, I don't bear the portrait of non-junk food, physical presence. But
stop.
But that's not stuff that they like. Now, I'm not telling you they're going to go get a bag of carrots.
As an aside, I'm the guy who hasn't seen a doctor for 17 years except for my flight medical. You see a doctor regularly. It could be argued you're more healthier than I am. And my wife might agree with that statement.
Yes, your wife is my physician, and I'm certainly more monitored than
just
you.
Saying.
Yeah. She uses you as an example. When we're in there, she's like, "No, I'm just kidding. She doesn't."
No, I believe that.
Don't be like Jimmy, because when you're malnourished, you hate the iPhone. Sorry, I don't know where that came from.
I have no idea.
I don't know. But yeah, no. So I'm
going to turn the air conditioning down.
Which means make it colder.
Yes.
Okay. We had this discussion on another episode.
We're going to continue.
I just was confirming because I'm starting to sweat in all the wrong places, and I don't want this.
Starting to sweat in all the wrong places. Yeah. Drip coming down from.
On behalf of Jimmy, I'd like to say sorry, Mom. You should apologize.
Sorry, Mom?
Yeah. You can call her Mom. It's fine.
My glasses are fogging up.
It's because it's so hot in here.
Anyways, I think I derailed your train of thought.
Yeah, it's okay. So I right out of the gate. I mean, that was a late summer when we became a family, and we right away started preparing. I was taking Banks out to the woods. We were preparing for deer season, which kicks off around here for most people. It kicks off in the first part of November, the first weekend in November, but there's food plots and trail clearing and getting wasps out of stands and whatnot. And I just drug him along, and he didn't mind not watching TV.
Yeah.
He wasn't even really anxious to do it because it was so many new things.
Yeah.
But he liked it, and he liked being outdoors, and we got him a big play set, and we had some woods behind our house, and we would go out there and just look around, and we would let him get dirty.
Yeah.
They would climb on the play set and kind of hang and upside down. We had some people. There were some pictures online. Oh, I can't believe that. Be careful. They're kids. I mean, they get a splinter. They got to learn stuff. They fall. Maybe they break something. Okay. I know. But let the kids be kids.
Yeah. So can I interject?
Please. Yes.
So this book that I was talking about, in his research, what he found was the phone-based childhood actually started one of the main ingredients is the safetyism.
Ah, okay.
That started well before the introduction of the iPhone.
Okay.
But that whole mentality of, so free play, I mean, your wife's a PhD counselor therapist.
Yep.
She probably talks about free play and the benefits of it and all of that. That, I remember growing up, riding my bike around the neighborhood, just having my parents, I came home to an empty house, get on my bike, go over to a friend's house. I had one good friend, so I'd go over to his house, we'd play, and all they would say is make sure you check in.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then when I had kids, it was like, that was unheard of. You would never do that.
Right.
You would never let your kid just walk around the neighborhood at 6 years old. And
right. But no, I totally was. I was sneaking. Well, not sneaking. I was, with their permission, cutting through people's backyards.
Right.
To get to friend's house.
Yeah.
It's a little chain link fence.
Yeah.
And the neighbors knew. Yeah. You hop the fence and just keep on going.
Yeah, man. I would.
They'd wave.
A little bit older. I was crossing 4-lane highways on my bike, going downtown to get stuff at the hobby shop. Like, so I did a little work with an anti-trafficking organization. Mm-hmm, I know what's out there.
Oh, it's
scary, but what we've lost because of the loss of that free play, that unsupervised, unmonitored free play where the kids have to sort of figure it out on their own.
Yeah.
It's bad. We've lost that.
So
it's good that you,
we have a little phrase in our home. Mom, just mute it for just a minute. It's FITFO, the acronym, and it's figure it the frick out. We keep it, clean. We don't say it with the kids, but everybody knows. Okay. So when one of them vapor locks about something, like, hey, FITFO, and check back in with me.
Yeah.
But there's so many basic things that, and we're running into it, and that's why we have that phrase of, we didn't have to do this, or they didn't have to navigate some of the challenges and different things because information is so readily available that they didn't have to think for themselves.
Yeah.
And so they can't think for themselves.
Right. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And about the only way that they're really good about thinking for themselves is how to sneak around and get around the rules. They're very crafty at that. God love them. But that's where they think.
I mean, that's it takes a high level of intelligence to do that.
We're raising the next criminal masterminds.
There's correlation. There's, it's But but yeah, so that's kind of what we do. And to this day, we still we get out, we fish, we go to the lake. We have to, we have to hook up boats and, different things. Banks is learning to drive, and you have to parallel park, and we start, and there he goes. He's like looking at the dash at the backup camera. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
No. So I, cover it up, and we'll,
When I saw that setup you had over the backup camera, it reminded me of, so when you're doing instrument training in an airplane, well, even before that, when you're doing your private pilot training, the way that I was taught was to look outside and fly the airplane, because we don't need the instruments. It's a VFR rating, right? It's a visual flight rules rating.
Yes.
So, and you really want to learn the basics of flying the airplane relative to the world outside.
Yes, because that is the most common.
So my instructor would take it was a manila folder that was cut out in the shape of the instrument panel with a couple of holes to fit over the knobs and just cover up the entire instrument panel.
That's funny. Now,
it reminded me of that.
Yeah, so that's very funny. Now, my dad, he used to work with a missions organization in Bolivia. And so he would ship stuff. It was all the time clothes and, different tools that they needed or whatnot. But he had a subscription to Sporty's Pilot Shop. He was not a pilot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that magazine still exists or not.
Yeah, Sporty's is still around.
Yeah, okay. And I would just thumb through it when I was at his office, because I was like, what?
They'll send you the catalog for free.
Well, I'm sure with some of the processes that are in there. But I remember this dude where he had this long helmet.
The hood. Yep.
Yeah. And I asked my dad, I was like, why would you need this? Because you can't see outside. And he's like, well, that's the point.
Yeah, that's the opposite.
You can only, the inverse of that, only see the gauges.
A view limiting device.
Yeah. A view limiting device. So.
Yeah. Do you know what they had in the Stearman? This is totally a rabbit trail. So the Stearman is the biplane the World War II biplane that I get to fly sometimes with the CAF.
Yeah.
It originally had, in the back cockpit where the student would sit, a hood that actually extended over the entire cockpit. Yeah. So that was your instrument training. And if you came flying with me and saw the instruments in that airplane, the thought of flying that airplane on instruments with only those instruments.
I was like, those instruments?
Yeah.
It's not like you got an all glass cockpit in the steering. No. Boop, 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 boop. No.
At every turn,
it's all twist.
The more I get involved with World War II, vintage aviation, the more I'm just like, we are not the same pilots today.
No, that's a whole other breed, and of course you just got back from your tour with the Commemorative Air Force, the CAF. What were you flying? B-29?
Right seat on the B-29, yeah.
Man, now, there was a video that you posted of a landing, and y'all check out Commemorative Air Force on, y'all are on Facebook for sure.
Yeah.
But, so y'all are out, but you're filming someone that's landing, and you just look up there, and it is like, I don't know, there's just nothing that you see that is anywhere remotely close to a modern day plane.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, Fifi, the B-20, we are sponsored by Gulf Coast Avionics. Shout out to Gulf Coast Avionics. And they've equipped us with a very nice suite of Garmin avionics. You just couldn't see them. They're kind of hidden.
Well,
but we have modern.
I saw your little weather thing. You posted your flight buddy.
Yeah.
What did you have this time? It was your stuff.
The capybara.
Capybara. Yeah. So I saw the picture of that, and then I saw your little weather uplink. So I was like, there are limitations.
When you're driving a 100,000-pound World War II bomber around at 2,000 AGL and VFR, like visual, and there's a lot of little airplanes out there, and it's not very maneuverable. It's nice to have that display.
Yeah, you don't want to. You can't go get another one of those off the shelf.
Right.
So
she just turned 80 this year. Anyways, that was rabbit trail.
Well, so we're kind of what we're talking about there, but your kids now. Y'all do the outdoor thing. Y'all will camp. I see y'all outside.
Yeah, I have to say, it makes me we miss the mountains.
Yeah,
because the culture in Utah is an outdoor culture.
Yeah,
it literally is an outdoor. I mean, I didn't see that contrast till we went and visited.
Okay,
and it's like everything. There's bike paths. There was a system of bike paths that went from Ogden, Utah, all the way to Provo, which is like, I don't know, 80 miles or something like that.
Wow.
Like maybe not quite that far, but it's like you could ride that system of bike paths all the way between those two cities.
Wow, that's cool.
With like spurs going off into the little cities. The ski resorts, of course, I never skied, but I did some snowshoeing. The camping is amazing.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of public land. And it's like that could veer into politics really easily, but Texas has no public land.
Right.
There's no place in Texas where I can drive my Land Cruiser out, set up my tent, shoot my guns.
Yeah. There's public land, but you can't do any of that stuff.
Do all that stuff without the permission of some owner somewhere.
Yeah.
And we found that very quickly when we moved here, and we missed it. And we actually ended up selling the Land Cruiser and getting out of that whole thing. So we have a camping trailer.
Yeah.
But we don't use it that often because, for lack of a better way of putting it, we don't want to be anywhere near other humans when we camp.
That's fair enough. That's fair.
Unless we have humans that we want to be near.
Yeah. We did a tour of camping for a few years when I was a kid, young teenager, and and sometimes it was fine, but then you'd also you'd have the rowdy bunch every now and then.
Yeah, and like there was a church group. Yeah. The only camping we've really done since
it was not the church group, but
was a church group that is put together by some folks at High Ridge.
Okay.
Where we go to church, and every October they go out and they gather, and it's great.
Yeah.
That's the only one we've really done. So we miss it, but the outdoors was more part of our life in Utah. Mm-hmm. But I will say, moving into this house with a little bit of land and some outdoor activities has really been a blessing.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same as Utah where we could just drive into the mountains and have an overnight.
Right.
But it gets the kids outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, you've got enough space. They got that the go-kart Jeep.
The go-kart Jeep. I was driving it yesterday.
Absolutely.
That thing always puts a smile on my face.
I don't know what it is about it. We do a dove hunt every year. Guys got a place just north of here a little bit, and I found some Coleman. They're not dirt bikes, but they're the
little mini bikes.
Yeah, with the fat tires.
Yeah,
and whatnot, yeah. And so we got a couple of those. Right?
It's got I think it's probably 50 cc.
Yeah, this
is a 125, but it's like the same speed.
But there's all types of mods you can do.
Are you serious?
We haven't got into that, but I had those. I got those, and we're gonna wrap this episode up. But I had them at my house, right? And I had them on the back porch. Because it was a couple of weeks before we were going to go to the hunt. I'll just keep them here. Well, we'll get on them. Me and buddy, we rode them around the neighborhood.
Of course you did.
And then the kids wanted to ride them.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, they know how to ride bikes. Dina's at work.
Helmets?
We didn't know. Because they go slow.
Don't tell Dr. Kim.
Yeah, no, I know. Okay, so I regret a lot of these decisions. But anyway, so Banks was like, oh, man, I got this. And he, you know.
Do they have a transmission on them? Or are they
just roll and go.
Yeah.
You know. So, real simple. And like I said, they're not going fast. But, fit-fo, right?
Yeah.
So Banks rides it, and he starts going uphill, and it falls over. And he's like, oh, I'm going to stand it up. He's figuring it out. And he finally gets the hang of it. And, I'm like, okay, that was fun. Right. And yeah. Now, Everly, who has only ridden a bike, was like, I can do it too.
Really?
Okay. Everly, if anything goes wrong, okay, just hold on to the handlebars, but let go of the gas.
Yeah. Is it a twist throttle?
Yeah.
Or
Just roll it back.
All right.
And she didn't get the memo. I gave her the memo, but she didn't internalize it. So she rode down. Okay, and then turned to go this way, and about that time, she just whiskey throttled it.
Oh, no.
I mean, just is going for it, and I'm like, this isn't going to be good. And you hear her go, ah! And
then, no.
And she just wheel first right into a tree, and I'm at a dead sprint, which was not that fast, but it's behind the shed and the wood pile and everything, and so I get back there, and she's like, one of those, she's like, Can I ride again? I was like, I think we're done. We're done.
Little stunt woman.
Right, yeah. And so you cannot deter her from anything. Her arm could have been hanging off, and she's like, don't tell me. I'll get on this thing right now. She's like her mom. Don't tell her. No.
That's awesome.
So, but that Coleman bike,
the
front was smashed in.
Oh, no.
And this is how well they're made. I had Banks sit on it and plant his feet on the ground just to kind of anchor it. And then I sat in front of it and put my feet up on the pegs.
You didn't.
And pulled the front fork back out.
Was it the fork that was bent, or was it the frame? Just
it was the fork.
The fork arms?
That front,
okay.
So anyway, that rake arm that kicks out. And so we just rolled it back out. But it still's a little off. So... And so anyway, we decided that we needed to differentiate between the two. Just a little off.
Yeah.
We need to differentiate between the two bikes. So we named one of them Randy Travis. That was the one that was kind of
little off.
Yeah, because it was, it just didn't ride like it used to. Yeah. So, and then I forget who the other one was. Not Colin Ray. I don't know. Who was it? Not Aaron Tippin? No, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't really.
By the way, Aaron Tippin, I know he did a concert on Fifi's wing at one point, but I believe he was checked out to fly the airplane as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, rock and roll.
Anyways, no, country in this case.
All right. I think that's everything that I was going to cover today. Yep. Is that it?
I don't know.
Yep. All right. Hey, so join us here next time. Just regular dads talking about regular crap. But we have some upcoming social media profile highlights that are really good. And watching this stuff, it can be good for you. And we'll explain that why on the next episodes. But anyway, join us here next time on The Regular Dad.
Shouldn't have to be this hard.